Hi everybody, happy Mother's Day and belated happy Teachers Day. For a lot of us, our mothers are actually our first teachers in life. I'm talking to you from a bedroom in Jamaica, which all of this foolishness that you're looking at behind me is the accumulation of my childhood, because I feel like Jamaican people have border tendencies. We don't like to fling away anything for some reason. But anyways, all of these things is like something when we get out from a child, including the white teddy bear. His name is Siegfried, and yes, me and him still talk and we travel and those type of things. So, I want to talk to you about Mother's Day, but before I start, I want to say that I know, despite the fact that I will say mothers, I know that the mothering work is not always done by the biological mother. So big up to anybody who is mothering a child right now, whether you are a father, a grandmother, a auntie, a complete stranger, whether you are fostering a child or you've adopted a child, or maybe you don't have any of these things. There's just a child that is living in your house and you're taking care of this child without even explaining what the arrangement is. Big up to anybody right now who is mothering a child in any way, shape, and form. So, why should we big up the mothers? First reason, there was a time in your life when your mother had to suck the nose knot out of your nose hole. I'm not joking. Them have a little machine where like you do so you put up in the baby nose and it's supposed to extract it. But every mother that I've ever spoken to has pointed out to me that there comes a time when this machine is not good enough, or else them don't have the machine. So they had to take their mouth, apply it to your tiny nostril and suck out all of the bubble. Look here. I do not even eat cold soup because it reminds me of nose knot. When I blow my nose, I take the paper and I put it far from me because I don't want the nose knot near to me. So big up to anybody with putting their mouth and somebody else's nose hole so that they can breathe and do not dead. Big up to you. Big up to my mother for combing this header here. I don't want to see it. You see it's short now, so everything looks simple. But there was a time when it did I saw. Right? And there was a time before comb through and all these type of spray things where you put in at the pickney ear and it just drop out. So my mother used to have 3 unbreakable comb, a thing of water, and a thing of Dax hair oil. Or maybe the sulfurate, depending on how she was feeling. Let me tell you something. Them have a line of comb on the market that them call unbreakable. Is a lie. Them can broke. My mother broke 3 of them in my ear every Sunday. But she do it. She put me up on the step, she lap her frack tail, and she comb out my head. Big up to the woman them who are burning off them finger head trying to comb through this hair. I hear that Vaseline helps. It's very soothing. I know that it's hard for you to look one way and say we hear no natty and cayenne or we have the bad hair. Big ups to you for loving this hair despite the fact that people might tell you that you're a child of Kaya Bunga head. Big up to my mother, and this one is going to be controversial. Big up to my mother for spanking me. And I know a lot of people have a problem with this. And I don't mean people who are abusing children, because as I've said, your child is not a receptacle for your pain. But big up to my mother for teaching me that there were real consequences to my actions and that I need to take responsibility for my actions, because if I could not hear, I was going to feel. Big up to my mother for punishing me between the ages of about 1 and 5, so that by the time I was actually going into the world by myself, I had control of myself and knew how to take care of myself. And I think that her spanking me actually helped me to reach much further and to be more of who I am right now. Big up to my mother for answering the same question 2 million times between the ages of 2 and 4. It was some variation of why is the sky blue, or why is the grass green, or why my neighbor not look like fair neighbor, or something like that. Big up to the mothers for answering that question, and more than anything, big up to the mother them who actually go study for answer the question them. And thank you for not slapping us on time number 500 when we ask you this question. Big up to the mother them for eating the things that we cook and trying to teach us to cook. Now me can't cook. I'll come out plain and straight on that. If you were thinking of trying to date me, this is not a good idea because I cannot cook good. But my mother try. The first time I cooked for my mother, the plantain burn up. The chicken raw inside. And when you're looking at the rice and peas, the peas grain them tough like a rock. And you know my mother does, she sit down there and she gnaw on the pea grain. She eat far from the chicken so that she no reach down at the part where it's raw. And she go on like she scrape off the back of the plantain and scrape off the burn. And while she was doing all of these things, she gently explained to me the things I should do differently next time so that I did not get this type of travesty marauding as a meal. So big up to the mothers for doing that. Big up to my mother for big ups to the mothers for the time when we were in our teens and we feel so we get big. We feel so we turn woman, or if a man you realize that people can make froth, and we were out with our friends and something happened and there was a confrontation between us, and because we did that with our friend, we feel so we have back it, we attacked it with bass in our voice, and instead of making we swallow with teeth like what you wanted to do, you swallowed your pride and you allowed us to keep safe face in front of our friends. Big up to the mothers for knowing not only what it's like to be a mother, but also what it's like to be a child, and for remembering the things that you needed as a child and allowing us those things, even if it was to your own detriment in some way. Big ups to the mothers for allowing us to get away with a little bit of foolishness. Big ups to the mothers for taking us back. You know that there comes a time when you're maybe about 15, 16, when your friend them just start matter so much more than your mother. And all of a sudden it's like, you not spend the time with her, all of her advice is just, oh my God, it's so wrong or whatever. I've heard it before. And clearly I know that because I'm grown. All of them type of foolishness there. And you move away from your mother, and then you hit around 23, 24, and you recognize that all of the things that you thought you knew, you're kind of unclear. And you need to go back to your mother and have her re-explain certain things for you. And when you show up at her gate with your leg between your tail, she open her door, she mix some strong sugar and water give you, and she sit down and try to explain to you everything what she did explain the first time, but you did too busy and roll your eyes to understand. Big up to the mothers for taking us back. You did not have to, because honestly I think sometimes we're hurting with behavior, but big up to you for taking us back. And finally, this is for the mothers past, and especially for the mothers present who right now, like the young mother them who just start out. Big ups to you for being afraid but doing it anyways. Because you know, so the first time you put that baby there down in the pan, you swear you're going to drown the baby, or like you're going to open the baby mold and the baby going to catch mold cold. And the first time that you have to change a diaper or something like that, you feel that you're going to rip off the baby skin with a strong adhesive that's on that diaper. But you do it. Your hand might tremble, but you take time and you do it until you can do it well, and you raise humans. Big ups to you for being afraid but conquering your fear for the sake of taking care of this child. Big up to the mothers for those things. Big ups to my mother. All of the things that I've spoken to you about are things that have happened with myself and my mother, and she has always taken me back and been there for me. I think that the greatest accomplishment I will ever have and my greatest blessing is actually being born to her. So big up to Angela Moore. You're the best mother, and I would choose you again and again and again. Big ups to everybody who's doing the mothering work. If you're watching this with your mother, mommy, happy Mother's Day to you. Take care. Love your mother. If you're not lucky enough to have your mother around, remember your mother and all that she did for you. And thank you. Bye.